Hello learners, welcome to my YouTube channel. So in this video, I'm going to take the first chapter or the first topics which are related with the syllabus of NVS PGT Commerce. Part 1 Business Studies and Management, and the first chapter is related with the introduction of business, concepts, characteristics, objectives, classification of business as industry and commerce, distinctive features of business profession and employment, choice of form of organization, large scale and small scale business, assistance by government to small scale sector. So let us start with the definition or meaning of the business. So business क्या होता है? business एक firm होती है या एक enterprise होता है that provides products or services desired by the customers. इट ऑल्सो रेफर्स टू द इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटीज़. ये इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटीज़ होती हैं जो कंसर्न करती हैं विद द प्रोडक्शन एंड एक्सचेंज ऑफ गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज विद द मेन ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ अर्निंग प्रॉफिट. सो जो भी इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटीज़ होती हैं बिजनेस से रिलेटेड, उनका मेन ऑब्जेक्टिव होता है प्रॉफिट्स को अर्न करना. So let us see here some definitions. According to B.O. Wheeler, business is an institution organized by and operated to provide goods and services to society under the incentive of private gain. Okay, so goods and services provide करना किसको? सोसाइटी को, बट उनका इंसेंटिव होता है गेन अटेन करना. नेक्स्ट definition we will see. According to K. Ashwathapa, business comprises all profit-seeking activities and enterprises that provide goods and services necessary to an economic system. Same thing they are also telling that goods and services provide करते हैं हम economic system को. It is the economic pulse of the nation, striving to increase society's standard of living. Okay, so business activities होती हैं, ये economic activities होती हैं जो society के standard of living को इंक्रीज करती हैं. प्रॉफिट्स आर अ प्राइमरी मैकेनिज्म फॉर मोटिवेटिंग दीज एक्टिविटीज़. सो इन एक्टिविटीज़ को मोटिवेट करना है, तो व्हाट इज़ द प्राइमरी रीजन फॉर दैट? प्रॉफिट. सो येस, लेट अस सी द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ अ बिजनेस. Concept of a business. Here you can see the 3 circles I have made, and in these circles you can see creating demand to produce goods and services. Next one is continuous research and development, and the next one is converting the economic resources into goods and services. सो बिजनेसेस में कंटिन्यूस रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट होती रहती है, जिससे वो एग्जामाइन करते हैं कि क्या चीज़ मार्केट में डिमांड क्रिएट करने लायक है और क्या चीज़ वो प्रोड्यूस कर सकते हैं, कौन सी गुड्स और सर्विसेज को प्रोड्यूस और सेल कर सकते हैं. और जिनके पास रिसोर्सेज होते हैं, उन रिसोर्सेज को, जो उन इकोनॉमिक रिसोर्सेज को वो कन्वर्ट करते हैं गुड्स और सर्विसेज में, और दे विल गेट देयर profit share in the market, and these all activities are related to the business. Now let us see the characteristics of the business. फर्स्ट वन इज एन इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटी. बिजनेस एक इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटी होती है एज इट इज़ अंडरटेकन प्राइमरीली फॉर अर्निंग मनी. सो बिजनेस इज अ सोर्स ऑफ लिवलीहुड. सेकेंड वन इज डीलिंग इन गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज. सो बिजनेस डील करता है गुड्स और सर्विसेज से. गुड्स वो प्रोडक्ट्स होते हैं जो फिजिकल फॉर्म में होते हैं, जैसे कि व्हीकल, फ्रूट्स एक्सेट्रा, और सर्विसेज वो प्रोडक्ट्स होती हैं जो इंटेंजिबल फॉर्म में होते हैं, जैसे कि बैंकिंग और ट्रांसपोर्टेशन. Next one is production and procurement. Production and procurement, business involves production and procurement of goods and services. For example, a business organization produces goods to be sold in the market. A retailer procures these goods either from the producer or wholesaler for selling them to customers. Okay. Now, next one is regular dealing. Next one is regular dealing. इन बिजनेस डीलिंग विद गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज इज अंडरटेकन ऑन रेगुलर बेसिस। जो भी डीलिंग होती है बिजनेस में गुड्स या सर्विसेज को, वो रेगुलर बेसिस पे होती है। A single dealing even with profit does not fall under business. For example, if a person sells his house and earns profit, it is not his business because other characteristics of the business are absent. Okay, so business में regular dealing बहुत ज़रूरी होती है. Next one is utility creation. Business कई तरीके की utility create करता है, जैसे फॉर्म, प्लेस एंड टाइम. फॉर्म यूटिलिटी इज क्रिएटेड बाय कन्वर्टिंग रॉ मटेरियल इनटू फिनिश्ड गुड्स. प्लेस यूटिलिटी इज क्रिएटेड बाय ट्रांसपोर्टिंग गुड्स फ्रॉम द प्लेस ऑफ प्रोडक्शन टू द प्लेस ऑफ कंजप्शन. Okay, and the time utilities is created by storing the goods from the time of production till these are demanded by the customers. Okay, so this is important. There are 3 different types of utilities, which is form utility, place utility and the time utility. Next one is customer satisfaction. So various business activities lead to customer satisfaction by satisfying needs of customers. Thus, if goods are produced or purchased for personal consumption, it is not business. Next one is risk bearing. Risk bearing, business में risk involve होता है. So risk in business is involved because the assumption on which business is undertaken may not hold true. So जो भी बिजनेस की सिचुएशंस होती है वो एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर से अफेक्ट होती है, बियॉन्ड जो बिजनेस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के कंट्रोल के बियॉन्ड होते हैं. Next one is profit motive. This point also we have discussed in the meaning of the business. So basic motive होता है बिजनेस का profit earn करना. So profit is the reward for taking risk, and both move in the same direction. That is, more risk means more profit. So a businessman expects more return on his money invested in the business than the return which he may have from investing money in risk-free alternatives like saving schemes of government. Now we are going to discuss about the business objectives. So किसी भी एक्टिविटी का ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या होता है? इट इज़ द एंड रिजल्ट विच इज़ एक्सपेक्टेड टू बी अचीव्ड बाय परफॉर्मिंग द एक्टिविटी. ओके, सो दिस इज ट्रू फॉर बिजनेस टू, एज इट इज़ एसेंशियली अ सेट ऑफ एक्टिविटीज़. सो बिजनेस के कुछ ऑब्जेक्टिव्स होते हैं जिनको हम एंड रिजल्ट बोल सकते हैं, और वो एक बिजनेस एक्सपेक्ट करता है कि एट द एंड ऑफ ईयर दिस दे आर गोइंग टू अचीव. So there we have divided the business objectives into 3 categories, which are economic objectives, social objectives and human objectives. So let us first see the economic objectives. So economic objectives here, earning of profit. First one, earning of profit is one of the basic objective of business, not only to compensate business owner for taking risk, but also for the continuous survival and growth of the business. Next one is customer satisfaction. Customer satisfaction, अब बिजनेस एग्जिस्ट क्यों करता है? जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ द कस्टमर्स. देयरफॉर द कस्टमर इज रिक्वायर्ड टू सेटिस्फाई कस्टमर्स बाय सेटिस्फाइंग देयर नीड्स थ्रू अप्रोप्रिएट प्रोडक्ट्स. बिजनेस को अप्रोप्रिएट प्रोडक्ट्स कस्टमर्स के लिए बनाने पड़ेंगे ताकि वो कस्टमर्स को सेटिस्फाई कर सके. नेक्स्ट वन इज इनोवेशन. सो इनोवेशन में क्या आता है? एक प्रोडक्ट को इंट्रोड्यूस करना, एक सर्विस को इंट्रोड्यूस करना, एक आइडिया को इंट्रोड्यूस करना. सिंस environment in which a business, any product, service or idea that is treated functions keeps on changing, the business is required to innovate constantly to meet the environmental requirement. Okay, so environment की requirement जो होती है, customers की demand change होती रहती है. Okay, so business को हमेशा innovative चीज़ें लेके आनी पड़ेगी ताकि वो कस्टमर्स की डिमांड को सेटिस्फाई कर सके. नेक्स्ट वन इज इफेक्टिव यूटिलाइजेशन ऑफ रिसोर्सेज. सो इफेक्टिव यूटिलाइजेशन ऑफ रिसोर्सेज में बिजनेस को कई सारे रिसोर्सेज चाहिए होते हैं, जैसे हो गया ह्यूमन रिसोर्स, मटेरियल्स, एनर्जी, इंफॉर्मेशन एट्सेट्रा. सो इन सारे रिसोर्सेज को इफ़ेक्टिवली यूज़ करना ताकि बिजनेस अपनी हाई ऑपरेटिंग एफिशिएंसी को मेंटेन करके रख सके. नेक्स्ट objectives are social objectives. So these are first one is better quality products. So business जो है वो कस्टमर्स के लिए है, और कस्टमर्स कहाँ हैं, सोसाइटी में है. सो बिजनेस को चाहिए कि वो एक बेटर क्वालिटी प्रोडक्ट्स अपने सोसाइटी के लोगों को प्रोवाइड करे ताकि वो उनका स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ लिविंग इम्प्रूव कर सके. नेक्स्ट वन इज फेयर ट्रेड प्रैक्टिसेस. सो बिजनेस को हमेशा फेयर ट्रेड प्रैक्टिसेस फॉलो करनी चाहिए ताकि कस्टमर ने जितना उनको पे किया है उसके अनुसार एग्जैक्टली वो सेम प्रोडक्ट पा सके. Thus, the business should not indulge in practices like adulteration, black marketing, underweight, etc. Next one is employment generation. Employment generation, business should put emphasis on generating employment in the process of performing its activities so that the people may get employment opportunity. So, अब बिजनेस को क्या चाहिए कि मैन मशीन रेशियो लोगों के फेवर में अडॉप्ट करना चाहिए. नेक्स्ट वन इज कम्युनिटी सर्विस. Business should undertake community service. This may be in the form of providing training to underprivileged people, providing health services, development of backward area, etc. Next one is protection of the environment. So business को हमेशा ecological balance बना के रखना चाहिए, हमारे environment को protect करना चाहिए. So the business should not extract natural resources disproportionately, pollute the environment, etc. Okay. Now next objectives are human objectives. Fair dealing with the employees. So business को हमेशा अपने employees के साथ fair dealing करना चाहिए क्योंकि वो business की backbone होते हैं. So employees को हमेशा एक human being की तरीके से treat करना चाहिए, not just parts of the machine. Okay. Next one is employee development. Employee development has become a key objective of modern business as human resources are treated as source of developing competitive advantage in the marketplace. So employee का development करना बहुत ज़रूरी हो गया है in the today's world. Next one is conducive work environment. So conducive means the favorable. Conducive means favorable work environment. Business को हमेशा conducive work environment create करना चाहिए ताकि employees अपना best possible effort रख सकें. और कंड्यूसिव वर्क इन्वायरमेंट वो ऐसा इन्वायरमेंट होता है जहाँ पे एम्प्लॉय ओरिएंटेड प्रैक्टिसेस होती हैं और ये प्रैक्टिसेस वर्क रिलेटेड होती हैं. नेक्स्ट वन इज एम्प्लॉय वेलफेयर. Employee welfare. So business should adopt employee welfare practices so as to satisfy various needs of the employees, ताकि एम्प्लॉयज़ को सेटिस्फैक्शन मिल सके, एक बेटर सेटिस्फैक्शन मिल सके एंड उनका मोरल इफेक्टिव हो सके एंड विच विल लीड टू द मोर प्रोडक्टिविटी. So next topic we are going to discuss about the classification of business as industry and commerce. So business की classification की गई है इसमें as an industry and commerce. So commerce is further divided into two more categories, which are called trade and auxiliary to trade. So let us first learn about the industry. So industry is defined as follows. So industry include all those activities which are concerned with the extraction, production, conversion, processing or fabrication of goods. So, thus, industry involves creation of many types of goods. सो इंडस्ट्री में कई तरीके के गुड्स आ जाते हैं जो ब्रॉडली क्लासिफाइड इनटू होते हैं थ्री कैटेगरीज में. फर्स्ट इज कंज्यूमर गुड्स. कंज्यूमर गुड्स कौन से होते हैं? जो कंज्यूमर्स कंज्यूम कर लेते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल जैसे टीवी, रेफ्रिजरेटर, क्लोथ्स, एडिबल ऑयल, टूथपेस्ट, हेयर ऑयल एट्सेट्रा. सो नेक्स्ट होते हैं आपके प्रोड्यूसर्स गुड्स. तो प्रोड्यूसर गुड्स कौन से गुड्स होते हैं? जो गुड्स को प्रोड्यूस करने में हेल्प करते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल मशीन, टूल्स एट्सेट्रा. और इन गुड्स को कैपिटल गुड्स भी कहते हैं हम. Okay, the next one is intermediate goods. Intermediate goods are in the form of raw material which are used in producing other goods. For example, steel, copper, crude oil, etc. Okay. So here the further discussion we will do about industries. Industry is divided into three types of industry, which are primary industry, secondary industry and tertiary industry. And primary industry is further divided into two, that is extractive and genetic. And then secondary industry is also further divided into manufacturing and construction. So let us first talk about the extractive industry. Extractive industry में क्या क्या चीज़ें इन्वॉल्व होती है? एक्सट्रैक्टिव इंडस्ट्री में एक्सट्रैक्टिव इंडस्ट्री इन्वॉल्व्स एक्सट्रैक्टिंग गुड्स फ्रॉम नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज जैसे लैंड, air and sea. The goods extracted and processed are used in secondary industry. Activities which are included in extractive industry are mining, hunting, fishing, etc. So next one is genetic industry. Genetic means parentage or heredity. Okay, so thus genetic industry includes activities which involve breeding of plants and animals for their use in further reproduction. So activities which are included in genetic industry are plant breeding, nursery, etc. In addition, activities like animal husbandry, dairy farming, poultry farming and fish hatchery come under genetic industry. Okay, now let us quickly know about the secondary industry, which are further divided into manufacturing and construction. So manufacturing industry में क्या आते हैं? वो सारी एक्टिविटीज़ होते हैं जिनको रॉ मटेरियल से फिनिश्ड गुड में ट्रांसफॉर्म किया जाता है. और ये यूटिलिटी भी क्रिएट करते हैं. एग्जाम्पल्स ऑफ मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडस्ट्रीज आर स्टील, सीमेंट, टेक्सटाइल्स एट्सेट्रा. सो ये भी फर्दर डिवाइडेड है मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडस्ट्री इनटू 4 फॉर्म्स ऑफ मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडस्ट्री, दैट आर एनालिटिकल इंडस्ट्री, सिंथेटिक इंडस्ट्री, प्रोसेसिंग इंडस्ट्री एंड असेंबलिंग इंडस्ट्री. ओके, एनालिटिकल इंडस्ट्री में क्या क्या इन्वॉल्व होता है? जो एनालाइजिंग और सेपरेटिंग बेसिक मटेरियल को करती है इनटू अ नंबर ऑफ प्रोडक्ट्स. फॉर एग्जांपल, पेट्रोलियम रिफाइनिंग इज एन एनालिटिकल इंडस्ट्री इन विच क्रूड ऑयल एक्सट्रैक्टेड फ्रॉम द अर्थ इज प्रोसेस्ड एंड सेपरेटेड इनटू अ नंबर ऑफ प्रोडक्ट्स लाइक पेट्रोल, डीजल, केरोसिन एट्सेट्रा. ओके, नाउ सिंथेटिक इंडस्ट्री क्या होती है? 2 or more मटेरियल आर मिक्स टुगेदर टू क्रिएट अ न्यू प्रोडक्ट. फॉर एग्जांपल, सोप, सीमेंट, फर्टिलाइजर, कॉस्मेटिक एट्सेट्रा fall in this category. Next one, processing industry क्या होती है? Processing industry, raw material are processed to produce finished good through a series of manufacturing operations. For example, manufacturing of a textile product used by ultimate customer is produced through a series of manufacturing operations like spinning, weaving, finishing. Sometimes these stages are undertaken by different business organization. And the fourth one is assembling industry. In this industry, finished product is produced by assembling the various components, vehicle, TV, etc. fall in this category. So next one, which is construction. कंस्ट्रक्शन इंडस्ट्री में क्या आते हैं, वो सारी एक्टिविटीज़ इंक्लूड होती हैं जो कंस्ट्रक्शन से रिलेटेड होते हैं, जैसे बिल्डिंग्स कंस्ट्रक्ट करना, डैम्स कंस्ट्रक्ट करना, रोड्स कंस्ट्रक्ट करना. सो यहाँ पे दीज एक्टिविटीज़ यूज मटेरियल्स प्रोड्यूस्ड बाय मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडस्ट्री. जो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडस्ट्री प्रोड्यूस करती है, जैसे सीमेंट, स्टील, मार्बल एटसेट्रा. सो ये सारी चीज़ें कंस्ट्रक्शन इंडस्ट्री यूज करती है. द बेसिक फीचर ऑफ दिस इंडस्ट्री इज दैट इट क्रिएट्स इमूवेबल एसेट्स. ओके, सो कंस्ट्रक्शन इंडस्ट्री इमूवेबल एसेट्स क्रिएट करती है. So I hope it is clear to you. Now next we will discuss about the commerce. So here Commerce is defined as follows. Commerce includes all those activities which are concerned with moving goods and services from producers to consumers. Okay, so goods को producer से consumers तक पहुंचाना. So इसमें कौन कौन सी एक्टिविटीज़ आती हैं उनको हम कॉमर्स बोलते हैं. ओके, सो like we can say it is establishes a link between the producer and consumers. You can clearly see in this picture. Now let us see the types of commercial activities. What are they? So two types of commercial activities are there. First one, it's related with the trade. Next one is the auxiliary to trade. So here you can see the trade are further divided into internal trade and external trade. So internal trade क्या होता है? Internal trade refers to purchase and sale of goods within the boundaries of a country. Okay, and the payment is made in national currency either in cash or through banking system. ओके, सो इसके अंदर और भी आ जाता है होलसेल ट्रेड एंड रिटेल ट्रेड कम्स अंडर इंटरनल ट्रेड. ओके, द नेक्स्ट वन इज एक्सटर्नल ट्रेड. एक्सटर्नल ट्रेड also known as foreign trade or international trade, and it is defined as follows. External trade refers to exchange of goods and services between two or more countries and payment involves foreign currency. Okay, so internal trade में डोमेस्टिक करेंसी या नेशनल करेंसी यूज़ होती है, एक्सटर्नल ट्रेड में हम फॉरेन करेंसी यूज़ करते हैं. सो इसमें हम क्या क्या इन्वॉल्व कर सकते हैं? तीन फॉर्म्स एक्सटर्नल ट्रेड की होती हैं, एक इम्पोर्ट, एक्सपोर्ट और एंट्री पोर्ट. ओके, इम्पोर्ट का मतलब आपको पता ही होगा. इम्पोर्ट मतलब जब हम गुड्स और सर्विसेज का परचेज करते हैं. Import trade, simply known as import, involves purchase of goods and services to be used by the importers themselves or sold in domestic markets. Okay, so next export trade. Export trade, simply known as export, involves selling goods and services in foreign markets. For example, if an Indian firm is selling garments in other countries, it is export trade. So, and third one is entry port. Entry port, the word entry port has been derived from the French word meaning warehousing. So entry port involves import of goods from a foreign country and export of these goods to other countries. For example, if an Indian firm imports goods from USA and exports these to other countries like Nepal, Sri Lanka, etc., it is entry port. I hope it is clear to you. Now let us quickly see the auxiliary to trade. So here are banking, insurance, transportation, warehousing, communication एंड एडवर्टाइजिंग. सो बैंकिंग में क्या क्या चीज़ें आती हैं? तो बैंकिंग includes all type of banks operating in a country. These banks are of the following types like central bank, commercial bank, specialized bank and the cooperative bank. And next point is insurance. It is a contract It is a contract under which insurer agrees in consideration of insurance premium to pay an agreed sum of money to the insured to make good for loss, damage or injury caused by some uncertain event or on expiry of contract period. Okay, so next one is the transportation. Transportation provides the physical means which facilitate the movement of people, goods and services from one place to another place. So transportation includes land, water and air facilities for movement. Next one is warehousing. Warehousing refers to activities involving storage of goods on a large scale in a systematic and orderly manner and making them available when needed. Warehouse refers to a place used for the storage or accumulation of goods. Next one is the communication. Communication involves exchange of information and its understanding between two or more persons. All business activities involve some type of communication. Communication facilities are required to link producers, traders and consumers through exchange of information. And the last one is advertising. Advertising. So advertising is an impersonal form of communication which is paid for by sponsors to promote their products. It is a mean through which products features are communicated to potential customers. These features not only pass relevant information to the customers but also motivate them to buy the product. Now our next topic is distinctive feature of business profession and employment. So business किससे refer है, refers to those activities which are concerned with providing goods and services with the aim of earning profit. So here the next one is profession. Profession क्या होता है? एक specialized occupation होता है which involves providing expert services to clients based on professional knowledge and skills. Next one is employment. Employment is a person is in employment when he is employed by another to render service under a contract of employment. In return to the service provided, the employed person gets remuneration in the way of in the name of wage or salary or other benefit. Okay, let us see the comparison between the business profession and employment. So here first basis of comparison is here mode of establishment. So business as decided by the entrepreneurs. And next profession, it's a certificate of commencement of profession. Next one is employment contract. Next point is nature of work. So in business dealing of in goods and services, profession providing professional services, and employment providing service to employer. Next one is motive. In business the motive is profit earning, and in profession is providing expert advice and charging fees. In employment earning remuneration. Next one is qualification. Qualification in business no formal qualification, professional qualification, and employment is as prescribed by the employer. Next point is investment in business according to the need of the business. In profession required for creating professional facilities. In employment there is no investment. Next one is risk involved. In business it is a high risk, and profession a very low risk, and in employment no risk apart from lack of job security. Seventh point is the transferability of ownership or interest. So here business में possible है, profession में not possible, and the employment में it is also not possible. Next one is code of conduct. In business mostly provided by legal provisions and business association. In profession provided by the concerned professional body and the business, and in the employment it is provided by the employer. Okay. So our next topic is the form of organization. Large scale business. So large scale industries are referred to as those industries which are having huge infrastructure, raw material, high manpower requirements and large capital requirements. सो इस इनके पास जो फिक्स्ड एसेट्स होती हैं वो मोर देन 10 करोड़ रुपीज़ की होती हैं एंड जिनके पास 10 करोड़ रुपीज़ से ज़्यादा की फिक्स्ड एसेट्स होती हैं उनको ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस को हम लार्ज स्केल इंडस्ट्रीज़ में इंक्लूड करते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल द टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री, ऑटोमोबाइल इंडस्ट्री, गारमेंट इंडस्ट्री एट्सेट्रा. So here we will see the small scale business. Small scale business is defined as a privately owned corporation, partnership or sole proprietorship that has fewer employees and less annual revenue than a corporation or regular sized business. So small scale industry में क्या होते हैं, employees fewer होते हैं, fewer employees and most work is performed by the workers. For example handicrafts. सो यहाँ पे हम ये भी बोल सकते हैं कि जो स्मॉल स्केल यूनिट होती है वो लेबर इंटेंसिव होती है और लार्ज स्केल यूनिट जो होती है वो होती है कैपिटल इंटेंसिव. सो स्मॉल स्केल यूनिट में हम यूज़ लेबर ऑफ फैमिली, ओके, और लार्ज स्केल यूनिट में हम क्या करते हैं, लेबर को हायर करते हैं. ओके, सो और स्मॉल स्केल यूनिट स्मॉल स्केल पे ऑपरेट करते हैं और लार्ज स्केल यूनिट लार्ज स्केल पे ऑपरेट करते हैं. Okay, so here now we are going to the end of this chapter. Here it is the last topic which we are going to discuss in this chapter, that is assistance by government to small scale sector. So here number 1 is reservation. So गवर्नमेंट स्मॉल स्केल सेक्टर को कैसे असिस्ट करती है. सो रिजर्वेशन देके टू प्रोटेक्ट द स्मॉल स्केल इंडस्ट्री फ्रॉम द कंपटीशन पोज्ड बाय द लार्ज स्केल इंडस्ट्री, द गवर्नमेंट हैज़ रिजर्व्ड the production of certain items exclusively for the small scale sector, which now stands at 822. Okay, now the next one is preference is in government purchases. So the government as well as government organizations show preference in procuring their requirement from the small scale sector. Next one is price preference. So the small scale industry units are given price preference up to the maximum of 15% in respect of certain item purchased both from small scale and large scale units. Next one is supply of raw materials. In order to ensure regular supply of raw materials, imported components and equipments, the government gives priority allocation to the small scale as compared to the large scale sector. Further, the government has liberalized the import policy and streamlined the distribution of scarce raw materials. The next one is that the excise duty in respect of small scale industries units. Excise duty concessions are granted to both registered and unregistered unit on a graded scale dependent upon the production value. Next one is RBI's credit guarantee scheme. In 1960, the RBI introduced a credit guarantee scheme for small scale industries. As per the scheme, the RBI takes upon itself a role of a guarantee organization for the advances which are left unpaid, including interest overdue and recoverable charges. And this scheme covers not only working capital but also advances provided for the creation of fixed capital. Next one is financial assistance. So small scale industries are brought under the priority category. As a result, financial assistance is provided to small scale industry unit at the concessional terms by commercial banks and other financial institutions. So here the next one is the technical consultancy services. The small industry development organization through its network of services and branch institutes provides technical consultancy services to SSI units. The technical consultancy organization renders consultancy services to small scale industry units at a subsidized rate. Next one is the machinery on hire purchase basis. So National Small Industry Corporation arranges supply of machinery on hire purchase basis to SSI units, include ancillaries located in backward areas which qualify for investment subsidy. Next one is transport subsidy. The transport subsidy scheme 1971 emphasizes grant of a transport subsidy to small scale units in selected areas to the extent of 75% of the transport cost of raw materials which are brought into and finished goods which are taken out of the selected areas. Next one is the training facility. The Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India, financial institutions, commercial banks, technical consultancy organization and NSIC provide training to existing and potential entrepreneurs. Next one is the marketing assistant. Marketing assistant, the NSIC, the National Small Industry Corporation, the Small Industry Development Organization, that is SIDO, and the various export promoting councils such as SSI units are in marketing their products in the domestic as well as the foreign market. The CIDO, Small Industry Development Organization, conducts training programs on export marketing and organizes meetings and seminars on exports promotion. Next one is the District Industry Center. In 1977, the Industrial Policy Statement introduced the concept of DIC, District Industries Centers. According to DIC is set up in each district. The DIC provides and arrange a package of assistance and facilities for credit guidance, supply of raw material, marketing, etc. So, here we have completed the first chapter of the syllabus of the NVS PGT Commerce Part 1, which is Business Studies and Management. So I'm going to come in my next video with the next chapter, which is form of business or organization. So do start your preparation because exam can be conducted in any of the months, any of the coming months. So you start your preparation from today itself so that when the exam date will come, that time you will revise your notes. From this strategy only you can get the good marks in your exam and you can get the selection. So I hope all the best for you for your preparation and you will get selection in this post. Thank you. Happy learning.